Good day, ladies and gentlemen. What you're about to see is a video that was made back in 1982. My name is Lou Urso. I'm the store manager at store 7415 Springfield, Virginia, which is real close to the Pentagon. We were asked to make this video so future assistants and store managers knew how to make a daily tour. Our goal is to maintain a grand opening look each and every day in the store, morning, noon, and night. When we walk in the morning, it should look just as good as the day we opened up for the grand opening. Our emphasis is always on making profit and gross margin, and at that time, we ordered a lot of our own product. Therefore, we had to be on top of things to do reorders in order to improve sales and profit. We enjoyed the store. Hopefully, you'll enjoy the video and have a good time watching it. It's approximately an hour long. The beginning of it's a little blurry, but it gets clearer as the video goes on. Thank you. Enjoy.
Good morning and welcome to your daily tour. A daily tour starts long before you enter your store. A daily tour starts with a drive around your building as soon as you get to the store. When you drive around your building, you look for numerous things. Abandoned carts, vandalism, break-ins, merchandise in boxes. Make sure the containers are locked, where the pallets are. Check to make sure the forklift wasn't left out. Anything out of the ordinary. You want to make sure before you enter that store that nothing happened to that store overnight that's going to cause damage to yourself or to the store. Then we go inside and we start our daily tour. Daily tour starts in our store at 8 o'clock in the morning at the service desk. What I do first before we start the daily tour is go in the back and read all the back traffic and separate all the back traffic and give it to the assistants to follow up on the same day as it's received. We always concentrate on cleanliness of the store all day long. We look for clean floors, make sure the windows are clean in the morning, the service desk rails are clean, the door grates is something we always seem to forget, have to be clean because it's the first appearance that the customers will see of the store. The sidewalk has to be swept every morning. Any of this stuff is not done before we come in. We make notes to make sure it's done right away. For example, this morning the merry-go-round needs to be clean and the top of our horsey outside needs to be clean. This time I'd like to introduce my three assistants, Mr. Hartzell, Mr. Labella, and Mr. Hensley is our cameraman today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. We start our tour today with our action tour books, which are dated 6 months ahead of time, which are used both as a diary and also as daily notes of odds and ends that need to be done throughout the store. We just completed a Mother's Day weekend, and now on the assistants' action tour books, they should have all their notes from Mother's Day and what picked up on sales, from Mother's Day whippings to Mother's Day perfumes, to what we can do better with next year, how we did on Mother's Day flowers, how we promoted Mother's Day weekends. The action tour books are kept in the store after the assistant leaves, for the manager and the assistant that are in the store the following year to know what they did and what they can improve upon to get maximum sales and profit. Do we have our Mother's Day notes completed?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Okay, let's walk through the store. Dealing with the summer sports socks.
They sell very well. We bought twice as much as we bought last year.
How's our notes on the call for order coming?
They're very good. We have a very good assortment.
It's not too late to get some reorders out.
Correct.
When we go through our checkouts, we look for merchandise that is not sold. We pull the merchandise, we put something in there that's going to turn for us. We look for high gross merchandise, and we try to make sure we have a toy and a candy item at each checkout. The bottom of your checkout basket, base should touch the bottom of your basket. All your checkouts should constantly be pregnantized and full. This is one department where a full look is what we need. The good, strong checkout merchandiser will do as much business on the checkouts as a small Kresge store will do all year long. That's how important it is up here, and we'll do it at an excellent gross. That item's not moving. Let's pull that today and change it to something seasonal. Okay. Now we're into Mr. Hart's favorite department, the beer and wine department. This department pays an average of a 12 to 15 gross. The merchandise is delivered daily and they're paid by cash. We run one promotion each week on an end cap of wine and one promotion each week on an end cap for beer. What's our promotions this week coming in?
We have a promotion going. We started last week on the Gallo wine, which we're running at almost a 20% gross on a special.
Okay. Anything picking up this time of year? Is beer starting to pick up?
Beer is picking up, and we have an excellent deal on Coors beer running right now also.
Okay. Okay, now you said you had your Mother's Day notes done on the Whitman candy, and I believe there's a reorder was called in yesterday. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Kitchen Fresh came in yesterday. How are we doing with setting up the air for tomorrow?
We're almost done. We still have some signing to do and some stockroom comps.
Okay, magazine ads are all set up?
There isn't any starting right now, but they're being checked.
Every day during the daily tour, we look for items that are picking up during the season and items that are selling down and take appropriate actions such as starting clearance or to rebuy the merchandise to feature it. This time of year, we want to rebuy Weiler's Lemonade Mix, seasonal summer merchandise that we'll be picking up. There's always something picking up for the next month and something dying down. You have to be aware of it and make appropriate notes for next year so we know what we did this year to get maximum sales and profit. We have notes on our seasonal return sheets on thermoses.
Yes, they were on-handed last week.
3 numbers, but they don't sell in equal proportions, and it should be set up by selling mirror. That has to be changed today. We're missing a pennant on the Kotex end cap over there, please. We have more baby oil filled.
Yes, we did.
How's our competition check doing over here?
We're still working on it. We have quite a bit yet to do.
All these empty holes on order?
Yes.
Okay, you want to get the book and show me, please?
Okay. This number is coming in this week's warehouse, and the number down there on your right is a CR from last week.
Okay, thank you. Can I see it, please? And how's our shop and compare signs and here's proof signs doing in Department 3841?
We still have some work to do on shop and compare.
Okay, let's check our off-price promotions in the back of the store. Promotions for the month of May and June are set up in our store. There's 20 items per store. Should be set up with a 5-inch numeral, a topper, and a burst. There's 2 off-price promotions currently on the program for May and June. One here, and we have photo albums. Our store is a little bit different than most stores as we have 4 midways, so we use some of our tables for off-price promotions instead of full end caps because of the 66-inch height throughout the store. This is too low a gross for an end cap. We try to use our main midway and our front checkouts for high gross merchandise and high ticket. We try to use our back midway, which is right back here, for as advertised merchandise. We make people hunt for the as advertised merchandise that's low gross. We use our back midway and our back ends. Let them come looking for it. Meanwhile, they might pick up something that's high gross or high ticket on the way. The unauthorized floor stack, Mr. Hartzell. Is that a Hartzell display?
No, it was an overexpansion of sale merchandise that wasn't supposed to have been put there, but was.
Okay, let's pull it off today. Here's a new item we received in the store approximately 10 days ago. We've sold approximately 1/2 of the pans and about 1/3 of the pads. It's going to be a red hot number, and I believe we have gone back for a reorder. Is that correct?
Yes, we have.
It's red hot. Good gross. Now we're in the season for Memorial Day. Cemetery wreaths, guaranteed sales from Teeters. Let's keep an eye on them. It's the first year we have them. Make sure we make the notes as we go along on what's selling, what's not selling. This is my favorite department, the Mishmash Wicker Hut. The Wicker Hut in our store, we sell approximately 30 cases a week of this merchandise. It's all pre-priced. We don't have to do anything with it. All we have to do is put it out. We have found if we put it out neat, it does not sell. When we mishmash it like it is right now, people like to hunt through it, and it sells, and an average gross is between a 60 and a 65 gross, even at sale prices. Our spring and summer toy department is just about over. It's a little bit too late to get reorders on most items, with the exception of maybe some pools and swimwear. We have an item here called a wet banana, which is starting to be advertised on TV May 1st. How are we doing with this?
We're doing very good. We got in 24, and we have less than half of those left. And we're going back to reorder more.
Okay. The selling value at $14.88. It's $2 less than Toys R Us, and that's at full list price with full gross. Once again, let's get our final notes on this. Wants to buys for next year, what we could have done better with, and what we feature with the Easter merchandise. So we have good notes for the following year. Job in our store with the sticker display. It should have a 30-inch feature. We have given it a 60-inch feature here because of the turnover we get on it and the gross that's involved in the merchandise. We cut down our models 30 inches to make room for it, and our sales through the registers have been tremendous with this line. We can't even keep the sticker album in the book. That's how well this sells. Ride-em toys, how are we doing with the call for order on hands on this and notes for next year? So it's still early in the season on this.
We're still taking on hands and checking it for reorders and notes for next year.
Okay. Cover department in the store, housewares. We maintain an excellent gross for this department considering all the competition around. We have a new writ rack that has to be set up today. Mr. Hensley, please get that set up. It was received in the store yesterday. Are all the rain checks ordered from last week?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. LaBella, how are we doing with the lawn furniture this year?
Very well.
The
We've made the notes and reordered some merchandise already.
the new display here, how's that helping us?
Helps us by cutting down, only using one side counter instead of two.
Which is very important in the store because we don't not have flexible counters. And we have gotten a lot more out this way, and we were able to get it on one side instead of two, so people are able to get the whole works in front of them, and it's displayed better this way. Let's go out to our home center and patio. The new home center look is completed in our store. I'd like to show you a few pictures of how it should look. Mr. Hensley, the lamp department needs a little straightening. Have we done our non-basic clearance? The letter that came out last week on lamps? So Bella, how are we doing with this new line of flashlights that we're taking the business away from sporting goods with?
We're doing very well. We've reordered them once.
Okay. Only line that came in the store 2 weeks ago.
We're doing very well with it. Very well pick up for Father's Day.
Mr. Hensley, do you have any items picked up for Father's Day that we can start promoting on Midway? You have to start buying those items now because Father's Day is our next big season. It's not that far away. Please make some notes and let's pick up some items promoted in the Midway.
Yes, sir.
Ray, get a shelf on this today.
Remember that as well.
One of the easiest ways to maintain watering out in your patio is to put an automatic sprinkling system in the roof of your patio. You will note how it works. It sprinkles out. Just turn it on in the morning when you come in the store. Turn it off an hour later. Doesn't cost any labor, and you're done. With our beach towels.
They're selling very well already.
Okay, now that Mother's Day is over, I think we should move them to the Midway for Memorial Day. We increased our purchases on this. We tripled our purchases on this over last year. We didn't have any markdowns last year, and I think we'll do tremendous with it this year. The high ticket and a high gross. 6-inch high counter, the towel hanging display looks tremendous. How are we doing with the AstroTurf rugs here, Mr. LaBella?
When it first initially came in, we had two end caps to it in the Midway table. Now we're down just to one end cap only, and we're going to put out another reorder on it.
How's 8.5 by 11 selling?
That's the best size in this store.
Looks like we have a few holes in the shower curtains back here.
Yes, we got some new numbers in the new line of curtains. We have already reordered the new line from Hygiene Industries.
And that is the new layout?
Yes, it is.
But what happened to your sign here? Is that a LaBella selling point? It's a new number towel here we're doing tremendous with. Can't keep it in the store.
It's been reordered 3 times.
Pays an average of 45 gross. Then we should cut down on the blankets on the end caps going into the summer now. Let's push something more promotion.
All right.
Like this department was straightened last night.
There was nobody over here last night.
Nobody over here last night? In our store at 8:45 every night, we have a code S. Code S means you stop what you're doing, everybody straightens in face. We should straighten in face at night so the fillers in the morning don't have to spend their time straightening. All they have to do is get in and start filling the counters. If the store is faced at night, it looks real good when you come in the morning, even if you're only checking an 80-85. Mr. Bell, how do we look with seasonal merchandise on the racks now?
We're getting down, we're getting very thin, getting ready for the next season. Won't be that many markdowns as it was last year.
You want to explain how it's laid out?
Okay, the way we've laid these counters out is we have these new signs that Troy's sent in. We toddler boys we put on one rack, infant boys on another rack, toddler girls on another rack. When we display this merchandise, we display it by size. We also color coordinate because it looks better, and it sells very well when it's color coordinated.
It's really very easy to lay out infants wear now. Everything comes in with a category number on it, on a MOPS number. Just label your size, what category goes where by a plot plan. When it comes in, anybody can take it, put it on the category, and just put it on the side where it belongs. Another thing we do in infants wear to see how long it's been in a store without pulling out the list book to see what kind of turnover we're getting on it, or if it's a slow seller so we can take initial markdowns early. We date the back of every sticker with the date the merchandise was put on, came into the store. This helps us tremendously. For example, this was March 5th. It's a strictly seasonal item. April, May, June, we have to start watching this item. Summer shorts is something you might want to go more than 90 days, but if it was a short sleeve shirt or something, you would consider reducing it in June. Tank tops and shorts, you may want to wait a little longer on. This new layout with the hanging rack has helped us tremendously. We should have approximately 1/3 the markdowns that we had last year. Most assistant managers like to stay away from infants wear and hosiery and domestics because they're afraid of it. It's one of my favorite departments, and the reason is because the gross profit made in these departments is tremendous, even after the markdowns. It's absolutely phenomenal how much money we make on this merchandise, and yet we're still the lowest price in town. The assistants like to concentrate on things that they're familiar with, candy, housewares, to bring it in and move it. We have to have this merchandise. We have to have the sizes that people want, and when they want it, and it's nothing but profit dollars. Even if you reduce this and took $0.50 off of it, it still would pay a 30 gross. If you took another quarter or 50 cents off of it, it would still produce a 25 gross. The profit is tremendous in the infants and hosiery department. How many markdowns do we have in hosiery all year long, Mr. LaBella?
Not very many.
And we constantly reorder sports socks. We reorder the fall and summer campus hose. It's absolutely tremendous what we can do because we promote this merchandise in the store because we do have the back midway to work with. From Buster Brown that we bought from Fort Wayne, came in on a tear sheet. Tremendous item. Name brand merchandise, which we can sell in this area, pays a 45 gross. They told you to reduce it to $3 after 2 weeks. This is all we have left out of 288 in a week. Name brand merchandise, high gross, high ticket. Let's go through our stockroom now and finish our tour of the floor in the stockroom. A daily tour isn't complete without a walk through the stockroom. The stockroom is a vital part of our store. The stockroom we try to keep as clean as we do the sales floor. The stockroom is swept 100% every night. We're caught up with all merchandise in the stockroom marking before we go home every single night. When we leave at night, we like to feel that we're getting maximum sales and profit from the store that night. Sprinklers, in our particular county here, upstairs we have to be 4 feet from the ceiling. The bins are ready to go for today's freight. We have our ladies' garment racks here to hang up our infants' wear when it comes in. We also use that to bring in the hanging baskets when they come in. The bins are classified and labeled. The maxi items are separated from the other items. The maxi items are bought in the stockroom. You will note, walking through back here, what is labeled for maxi items. We also dyno label it to make it easier so nobody fills what doesn't belong there, which is a constant problem in this store. People filling the maxi item homes with other merchandise, and it does nothing but hurt us because those are the items that produce the turnover. The aisle is set up with 4 different sale blocks. Sale aisle week number 1, week number 2, sale aisle week 3, and week 4. All merchandise for upcoming ads is held in the sale aisles. All the merchandise has a Hole for Advertised sticker put on it. All merchandise upstairs is dot dated once a week. It puts a date on here, the regular price and the sale price. We try to have the stockroom markers mark the merchandise a little bit ahead of time so everything's ready to go for when the ad starts. But what we try to do, and it doesn't always work, is try to keep each date in a different sale aisle so it's easier to find. But some weeks are a little bit bigger than others, and it just doesn't always work. No tour is complete without walking through the K3 departments, seeing what needs to be done, looking for empty sign holders, empty racks, empty end caps, seeing what we can do as a management team to help the K3 managers produce maximum sales and profit. K3 department produces a 12.35 gross for our store, which means for every dollar they take in, we automatically get 12.35 cents in profit. We have nothing to lose by helping them gain maximum sales and profit because it's nothing but profit to us. We don't take any of their markdowns, just their profit, and we provide services for them. A daily tour is constantly, all day long. There's three most important things an assistant can remember is observe what is wrong, delegate, and follow up. If you don't complete all your tasks one day, it becomes a task for the next. Observe, delegate, and follow up. Take pride in your store. Run your store like the most important person that walks through that front door is yourself, because it is. You have to take pride in yourself, take pride in your area, and take pride in your store, because Kmart takes pride in itself and takes pride in you. Thank you. Welcome to the Kmart Cafeteria. During our daily tour, approximately 10:30 and 11:15, we will also tour our cafeteria and our front deli. One of the first things we look for is that the proper circle signs are up. As you will note on the sales bulletin every week, it tells you what circle signs belong up. One always hangs above the steam table. We also have 5 of them hanging above the front of the cafeteria. There's no prices on these circle signs. It's done for a reason so they can be used over and over. We start at our salad case. We look for the proper items on the salad case. We look for garnishing on the salad case. We also look for a mixture in the salad case so you don't have the same thing day in and day out. The salad case is set up properly according to the Kmart Bulletins. Then we come over to our salad case. Salad case, we look for a full look. We look for a fresh look. No leftovers. We look for the dates on the milk. Make sure everything is dated correctly. If you don't want to sell old milk, it takes away from everything. We look for an assortment of merchandise so the customers have the selection that they need. Eye appeal. Sally, can you explain to us how you decide what to put and in what quantities in a salad case?
Okay. This is our production chart going out every day as to what we make and what we put in the case, and then at night, what's left over, we have a count of what was sold during the day. Monday through Wednesday, we don't put out as much as we do Thursday through Saturday because they're your busier days. And that's a guide to know how much food to put in your case, and your salads, your sandwiches, and your desserts. And they're made fresh every day.
We'll try to run with as little leftovers as possible, as leftovers do not help us reduce maximum gross and profit. An average gross for a cafeteria should run between 60 and 65. Sally knows in this store that we should never be out of strawberry pies because the store manager likes strawberry pies. And lo and behold, she doesn't have strawberry pies. We also constantly look in the cafeteria to make sure the month-long promotions are set up. We have them in and available to sell. We also make sure that menu boards are properly priced, signed. The day special is changed every day. We also look to see that the current as advertised special is set up in the food department, because we sometimes have a tendency to forget to set that up. Sally, what is the current as advertised special in the food department today?
With the purchase of a quarter-pounder French fries at 25 cents.
Okay. They have to have a coupon for that?
No.
You have to constantly make sure that the ice container is full. If an ice container is not full, people will come and take their cups and fill it with soda instead of with ice. Ice should be in the cups approximately half full. It will produce a better gross than if they fill it with 100% Coke. Make sure you have your hot chocolate mix, your Sanka out, your tea bags. You always have a full, hot, warm coffee out and warm water out for tea. The highest gross area of the cafeteria is a steam table. A steam table can produce a lot of money for you, and at the same time, it can also lose money for you by not doing it correctly, or by having a lot of leftovers and not reusing those leftovers correctly. The steam table should always have an eye appeal to it. Should be garnished correctly with carrots, parsley, tomato, or whatever. Should change your garnishes every single day. and it should always be set up according to the Eastern Regional Office daily menu board. It suggests to you what the special should be every day. Today's special is liver and onions, veal patty, and hot roast beef sandwiches. These items produce a better than normal gross in a food operation. We constantly strive to have an eye-appealing display during the lunch period. What time do we pull a steam table and what time do we set it up for dinner?
It's pulled at 2 o'clock and gets reset up at 4.
Okay. Sally, you want to show us how to properly make a hamburger?
On the grill, put it on, and you leave it. You don't touch it. When it starts to bubble on the top and little beads form around it, that's when you turn it over. You don't jab it with the spatula, you don't press it down. You put it on there and you leave it alone until it's cooked. And like I say, when it bubbles on top and around, then you turn it, then cook a few more minutes, then it's done. In the meantime, you steam your bun, you get your plate set up. If it's a hamburger or cheeseburger plate, when you turn it over, that's when you put your fries in. And then it's all ready at one time.
Thank you. Now let's go back to the kitchen and we'll explain how to check in merchandise and we'll take a look at the freezers to see what we have in them and how clean they are. Can you explain to us how to properly portion control merchandise, how we use the portion control cards, and one of my little pet peeves is how many portions come out of a French fry bag.
Okay, one bag of French fries gives you 18 portions of French fries in these dishes. You open the bag, you lay out your 18 dishes, and you divide it up, and that's your correct portion for French fries.
So all the young lady has to do then is take this and dump it into the...
That's right.
Okay, thank you. Do you have the portion control cards handy and are they up to date? The portion control cards are a Bible for the kitchen operation. Back here is where we make our money or we lose it. We have to use portion control. If we give out 6 ounces of French fries where it should be 3 ounces, then we have no gross profit at the end of the month, and everybody runs around looking, why don't we make any money in the food operation? We make money in the food operation by using the portion control cards, having the correct cost, the correct selling value on it, and by also maintaining portions when we sell this merchandise out on a steam table and in a fryer. These are our current portion control cards. You will note the selling values have been crossed off and the correct selling values from the regional office have been noted on them. The same prices are also noted on the menu board and is also noted on the cash register. Going through the freezers and refrigerators, you're constantly looking in the kitchen for cleanliness. Cleanliness is more important back here than it is in the sales floor because the Board of Health inspects us approximately once a month. We look for leftovers, we make sure we don't have any burnt meat, we look for clear tops and everything, we look so that we have a minimum of anything open in the containers at all times and absolutely positively no cans in the freezers or refrigerators. Everything should be opened up and put in a leftover container. This needs a little cleaning. Sally, you want to explain to us the new way of doing the whipped cream?
Okay. They want the whipped cream. When you make it, put the bowl in the freezer, let it get ice cold, your whipper in there. Use 1 pint of ice cold water and only beat it for 7 minutes on your beater. And number 2 speed. And that's the correct whipped cream.
One of our major sources of waste in the food operation is by taking in deliveries and not checking for what we're getting in. If you get in 10 pounds of tomatoes or a box of lettuce, check the merchandise before you sign for it. Make sure it's not damaged. If it's damaged, note it on the bill. Mention it to the driver. Also check when you get merchandise in. It's usually 2 copies. 1 copy you keep and you sign for it, and 1 copy they keep. If there's a carbon paper underneath it, make sure that carbon paper is filled out because you can sign for something that's $16 and they can take it back to their office, fill in the second copy that you already signed for that's blank and make it $35 and bill you for that. Lost gross profit. This is what we have to prevent constantly, is lost gross profit in the food operation. No waste. We have to check that we can get roast beef in. If it says 5 pounds, we put it on a scale and we weigh it. Where's our scale to weigh our meat? You check your roast beef to make sure it's weighed correctly. You check your hamburgers. How many hamburgers belong in the box? 40. Sometimes they short you, they give you 30 or 35. You must check it while the driver is there. After the driver leaves, it doesn't do you any good. Coke containers, when you receive your Coke containers, make sure they're full. When you use them in a store, make sure they're empty before you return them. What we do in our district, if they're empty, they get put in a separate location and they get turned upside down. This is our way of telling that they're empty, and make sure that the truck driver takes out the empty ones only, because he can get cash for these if he takes them elsewhere. And you already signed for him, so you're going to pay for him. He's going to get cash for him elsewhere. Back here we have our stock room for the food department. One of the most important things in the stock room for the food department is rotation of stock. We do not want to sell old food. We have a system here where you fill it from the back, it goes to the front, you fill it, take what you need from the front. We try to keep as light as possible to keep the merchandise fresh at all times. Everything is labeled and on the counter what belongs where, so we know what we have, everything has a home, and everything's kept in its home. By using the production control charts and by using all the other methods that we have to work with in the food operation, you should be able to run a 60 to 65 gross with no problem at all. A lot of people don't realize the food department is your highest gross department in your entire store. Cleanliness is very important. Cafeteria trays should be clean, tables should be clean, salt and pepper shakers should be filled before you get into your lunch period. The napkins outside should be constantly full. The forks and utensils should be filled, and we must maintain a clean appearance in our cafeteria and deli. Thank you. This section of the tape is going to deal with paperwork. One of the most important things an assistant can do is keep up with his paperwork each and every day. Class topics, clean your stock list. The regional office sends out these class topics and they expect the assistants to return one a month. They do this for a reason, to give you better merchandise knowledge and to see if you can return paperwork in, because as a store manager you must get your weekly reports in, you must get your monthly reports in every month. There's 5 things we're going to check today. Sales bulletin, clean your stock list, grain checks, return sheet final notes. Our assistants in this store are required to carry 2 things with them at all times. Their check copy of the sales bulletin, also your check copy of the pocketbook checklist for the entire store, not just for their area. These are sent out every quarter for 3 months, and it pertains to what is the good sellers for those 3 months, both basic and seasonal, and this is what the regional office uses as a guide for your checking assortment during a store check. What we do is we give also a copy of this to the scanner people, and it's their responsibility plus the assistant manager of that area to make sure these items are bought in depth, and we try to maintain better than average displays on these items during this 12-week period. Sales bulletins are done different ways in different stores. The way we do it in our store is we keep a folder dated sales bulletin. Inside the folder we have 2 sections, old section and new sections. The sales bulletins come in 6 weeks ahead of time. One of them is automatically labeled the master, then the 3 assistants get a copy apiece. 6 weeks ahead of time, it's their responsibility by the Friday of that week to turn in to me their copy with the competition selling values on it, our current on hands, our current on orders, and what they suggest we buy in a buy column. I then transfer the orders to the master copy. The master copy then is given to our merchandiser. She takes the master copy, she orders the merchandise in a buy column, yellow highlights it, stamps it, the dates the orders went out, and then we keep it on file. 3 weeks before the sales bulletin starts, we review the firm orders in the sales bulletin. We also review the DC items in the sales bulletin. 1 week before the sales bulletin starts, in our operation managers meeting, we discuss what has to go on end caps, what has to go on midway tables, what has to go on platforms, and what has to go on checkouts. We try to set up our entire sales bulletin that starts on Sunday the Friday before, so Saturday and Sunday we do nothing but customer service in our store. We will check the sales bulletin in a few minutes to find out exactly how we're checking in this and whether or not we have proper displays to the merchandise that belongs in here in order to get the proper points. The next thing I'd like to discuss for a few minutes is to clean your stock list. This comes out once every quarter. The clean your stock list is also known in our store as a dummy sheet. Basically it's called a dummy sheet because if we're good merchants, on a clean your stock list, we already taken progressive markdowns or have cleaned out of the merchandise on a clean your stock list because it hasn't been in the list books. And a good merchant will know what's old in store and try to keep his stock on hand down by taking early progressive markdowns. Still help us produce maximum gross profits. Whereas if you wait too late or too late in the season, that markdown isn't going to give you anything because it's too late. Instead of getting $2 for a $3 item, at the end of the season, 50 cents may not get you what that $2 would have got if you took an early progressive markdown. How we do to clean your stock list, we take the master copy, label it master, we Xerox a copy of it and cut it up into team sections. Each team assistant manager gets a copy of it. He divides it up in his area. They take each item on here. There's 4 dates up here. We date it every other week. They take the first markdown. If it says to take a markdown, we take it to that point. We transfer it to a markdown sheet. We yellow highlight it on here to tell us that the markdown was taken. They turn it in to me when it's done. It gets transferred to the master copy. After it's transferred to the master copy, I keep them. 2 weeks later, they get them back, and they take the second progressive markdown. Now, on 26 pages of this particular Clean Your Stock List, we should average no more than 1 or 2 items on an entire page, because, being good merchants, we have taken early progressive markdowns on this merchandise, which helps us produce. Management involvement will help us produce profit dollars, and this is what we're here for, profit dollars. Speaking about profit dollars and markdowns, return sheets are the most important way we can control our markdowns. With proper notes on your return sheet, for the following year, your markdowns can be cut in half. With good notes, put on your return sheets where it was displayed, when it was displayed, when the display was moved to the midway, when it was moved to an end cap, how many times it was on sale, and what to buy for next year. Now, what to buy for next year is the most important thing on an entire return sheet as far as I am concerned. What we do in our store when a return sheet comes in, we keep 2 return sheet manager's worksheet books. One of them is done for when it comes in, you put it in this book, and you put the total selling value that was bought on it, which is according to company policy, the correct way of doing it. We also keep another book, another manager worksheet book. It's called the 83 checking dates, which I refer to this as the death book. When a return sheet comes in, it gets put into this book by the proper month it comes in. And a death date book, the last checking date of that return sheet gets put in here. For example, if the last checking date is May 21st, we go to the May section, turn it up, and in here, under May, this is telling us that at the end of May, the Department 43 1983 Memorial Day artificial flowers and Department 43 pink call for order on planters, that the final notes are due on this. This is giving us another way, another system to let us know that we have to get final notes on this, because it's very easy in a store with so many different tasks that we have to perform to forget to get a note on a return sheet and a call for order. This system enables us at our operational managers meeting to know what is due. When the assistant makes the final notes on it, they open up this book, they put down the final notes were made and what date they were made and who made the final notes. So the following year, when that return sheet comes in, we have right in front of us the entire return sheet, where it was displayed, when it was displayed, how it was displayed, and the proper notes on what to buy for the following year. Next point we'd like to discuss is rain checks. As far as I'm concerned, rain checks are the worst enemy of the Kmart Corporation. It's very difficult to buy ad merchandise correctly. Rain checks are given out in layaway now. At the end of the week, the layaway girl separates them by teams. She puts a rubber band around each item, and she puts a rain check log sheet on each item, which tells us the stock number, tells us how many rain checks we need to buy. After she has this done, she puts them on my desk. They're divided up by the different teams, and I sit down with the assistants, decide what we're going to buy. We buy the merchandise right on the Form 46 under the rain check column. We yellow highlight this telling us it was bought. We put it on the rain check hooks, and we follow up on it twice a week to see if any rain checks that came in or if other needed action is needed to get this merchandise. If it's non-basic merchandise, we try to get it locally at another store. We're going to check the sales bulletin now. By setting up this book on a sales bulletin, we keep for the district manager to review all the old sales bulletins, and he can also check the new sales bulletins to see that proper action was taken, so when the checking dates do start, notes were made on it, and we do have the merchandise coming in. The first item we have to check on the sales bulletin for ends and midway and for the checkouts is a Big Mac on wheelbarrow. Mr. Hensley, I don't feel this is a proper display on the midway on the amyloid big dumper wheelbarrow in order to get the proper display points. But in order to get the proper display points, the merchandise has to be full and massive. So we're going to lose the points both on the merchandise and on display because we don't have enough to maintain the midway. Let's try to correct this right now. Okay, Mr. Hensley, I feel that that corrects the problem, so I will give you your points back on the merchandise and on display. Full, massive, midway table. Okay, next item on an end cap, Sun tea jars. Let's check the Sun tea jars on the end cap. Adequate with end cap, I'll give you both the merchandise points and the display points. Let's order some of the replacement parts for these Sun tea jars, and some of the tops came in melted. Okay, next item for an end cap, shopping apparel, Weiler's lemonade, Kmart lemonade. Mr. Hensley, that's an excellent looking end for the sales bulletin. It's full, it's massive, it's blocked off, and it's spaced. Competition permits us to get full lists for both the Weiler's and the Kmart lemonade on this end. We'll get both the merchandise and the display points. The side counter is full and has shop and compare signs on it. Wouldn't hurt to put additional shop and compare sign on this in the middle. Next item to check is the checkouts. We should have 2 items on the checkouts. Nice fork spoons and real lemon. Let's check the real lemon first. Okay, we have to check our real lemon. The real lemon is in an expanded display at the checkouts. It's full, it's massive, it's pregnantized, both the merchandise and the display points. Okay, let's check the nice forks and spoons at checkout number 6. Checkout display should have nice forks and spoons on it. Mr. Hensley, I don't feel this suffices either for the merchandise or for the display. This does not get you the display points on here. Let's get this corrected immediately so we can get our proper checking points on it, but we do have the merchandise. Also, this is an excellent item for this time of year for checkouts. It's high gross. It's an impulse item for vacation seasons. If you don't have this on checkouts, you're missing the boat. Okay, let's get this bottom corrected. Corrected, it looks much better now. You get both the merchandise and the display points. Unless you have proper display to this, you'd lose both the merchandise and the display points on this entire sales bulletin. A lot of store managers do it differently, but that's how I feel it should be done. Without proper displays, you'd lose both the merchandise and the display points. This particular sales bulletin checks about a 95.5. It's too low, it should check approximately 98. Now we have to check our shop and compare. First shop and compare is the heavy-duty aluminum foil. Hensley, while we're checking our shop and compare, we're looking for the heavy-duty broiler foil for Kmart versus the Reynolds Wrap heavy-duty broiler foil. It's full, has a shop and compare sign on it. We get both merchandise and display points for this. Also, while we're in Department 32, we had to have 9-inch white plates, 80 count. Merchandise display is full. Nice forks and spoons. Merchandise display is full. That concludes our checking of the sales bulletin. That also concludes the presentation of this training film from the Kmart store in Springfield, Virginia. As the TV commercial goes, we're on the road again. We're on our way now to Manassas. We will show you what the kitchen corner looks like and the first electronics center in the eastern region. I understand it looks tremendous and it has helped produce extra sales and profit for their store. So with the ending of our presentation, if anybody would like a copy of this tape for just $49.95, send it to Urso Productions here at Kmart in Springfield Plaza. We will send you an autographed picture plus a training film for just $49.95. Thank you.
Kitchen corner. It's a merging of several different departments. Department 11, kitchenware. Department 6, small appliances. Department 35, plastics. Department 22, glassware. And Department 12, dry goods. In our kitchen corner here, there's 3 basic parts. We have our cube, which is standing here in front of me. We also have our 72-inch high counters, and also our center section, which is called our atrium. Right now, we'll start off with the cube, which is right here in front of me. On these cubes, we are to feature merchandise that is brand new. This is the first shot the customer sees when they come down our midway. And on this particular display, we have the new Rubbermaid microwave dishes. Another item on this cube is our rolling pin that I wanted to talk about at a later date. This is one of the hottest items we had in the entire department. This is a marble rolling pin. It comes with the rolling pin, the mortar and pistol, and also our marble Lazy Susan. These are some of the hottest items we had in Manassas at Christmas time last year. At this time, I'd like to take you into the atrium section of our store. This is our atrium section of our kitchen corner. In this section, you'll see 4 large chrome towers, which are all connected with the kitchen corner banner. In these sections, where we introduce our new merchandise. It's where it's a complete different system of merchandising. This is more of the department store atmosphere, where we're putting out style displays. In this particular case, we have our barberware. If you'd like to take a close-up shot of our atrium now, we'll move in a little closer. On this particular section of our atrium, we put in our stoneware, canister sets, all set up with very stylish display. On this end, you have your Department 12 kitchen accessories, which you have the entire atrium out to one particular number from the Department 12. This item sells for $3.97, and it all coordinates with the same color and same pattern. Nice embroidered outfit from our dry goods department. Now we'll go to one of the other atriums. This particular atrium, we have our pasta containers, our tinware, canister sets, and the entire atrium is set up with canister sets. In your kitchen corner manual, you'll see that these are supposed to be unstuffed, overcrowded displays of new GO merchandise that's coming into your departments. A lot of you will notice that these items have already come into your departments on GOs. Now we'll continue on around to the other side of the atrium, again having another Department 12 kitchen accessory, a nice embroidery potholder set. On this side, on the back side of the atrium, there's an additional new item that has just come into our stores, the chef. It comes with it's a 7-piece set of dry good kitchenware. Now we'll go on around and tour some of the counters now that we have toured our atrium. The atrium is here in the center. This is another part of our kitchen corner. This is our Rubbermaid section. This is where Department 35 has been brought into our kitchen corner. This is the first side from our housewares department leading in from the front of the store. Also, we continue with Rubbermaid on down to the next counter, which goes into the 72-inch high counters with our Max Klein facing it and across the aisle display on down a little further. Now we'll move the camera on down a little further into the center section. This is our Rubbermaid section that continues off the midway, coming on down further into the department. You can tell that the displays are all set up by colors. In this particular item here, you have the caddies and so forth that are all coordinated together, continuing with laundry baskets, waste cans, buckets, and dish pans. On the facing counter, on the opposite side, we have our Max Klein line of plastics, and it continues on down to the end towards the rug department. This is the second counter off the midway. Now we'll go on around to the back side of our kitchen corner. This is the back side of our kitchen corner. This is our small appliance section. All the appliances that were in our small appliance department that will relate to the kitchen or the housewife have been brought to our kitchen corner. Over here you have our irons, our coffee makers, replacement carafes, and also smoke detectors. All these items have been brought from our small appliance department. Also, facing the center of the atrium section of our kitchen corner, we have the rest of our line of small appliances. In this particular one, we start off with our Oster kitchen centers, and we go on down to the other end where we have our toaster ovens, toasters, blenders, and the frying pans. Then we'll go on over and tour the facing counter that faces the small appliances, which will be our tinware and pots and pans. Glassware end that is part of the kitchen corner. This is a brand new item that we've just gotten in, so we featured it in the center of our kitchen corner as a style display. On this side we have our teapots and enamelware. To continue, this is the second counter off the midway, actually in the interior section of the kitchen corner itself. Now we'll go over to the counter that we have our pots and pan sets, which is on a perpendicular counter to the flow of traffic through our kitchen corner. On this particular counter we have our pots and pan sets, some of the new numbers that we did outstanding with this year. I'm sure all of you will recognize the Normandy teapot and pots and pan set, the entire set we did outstanding with. This teapot, for example, we sold over 96 of them here at Manassas in the Christmas season. Featured on the candy in addition to featuring in the kitchen corner. This set went through 36 of them in just 3 weeks period of time at Christmas time. Now we'll continue on around to the back side of our kitchen corner where we have another cube which catches the traffic coming in from the patio section of our store. This is the back side of our kitchen corner. This is the back cube that faces our sporting goods and back midway. It features on this particular instance, it's country wheat that we've just gotten in. It's a new item. We're featuring the entire country wheat assortment on the cube. The canister set, the pitcher, the salt and pepper, the sugar and creamer. The entire assortment goes on this cube. featuring one particular item on a cube. You'll also notice that this cube, they don't require signs on the top of this cube. In other words, you're trying to create style type display. The sign on the top would just distract from what you're trying to present in the merchandise. Continuing behind the cube, you have glassware. In this particular case, we have our basic glassware featured on this particular side, faced off by another side of glassware. And on this side, we have some of our new merchandise that has just come in, leading to it with a cookie jar end. This side we've done quite well with. The majority of the stuff, we have our clay ware, which most all of you have seen on checkoff sheets or GOs, salt and pepper shakers. The new items that we have in this particular area, we have pepper mills. This is grind your own pepper. And glassware, and on this end we do have some basic glassware that we featured. Now we'll continue on around into the other parts of the kitchen corner, into the glassware section. This is the view that the customer sees from our grill section in the back of the store. In this particular case, you see both of our mug displays. This mug display is a four-sided cubicle that sits right at the very end of our midway. Mugs on all four sides of this cube. This particular mug, the number one lover, we went through 288 mugs on a Valentine promotion and went back for an additional 48 at $3.58, paying us a 50 gross. This is an outstanding item. This entire assortment. In the summertime, when we get out of the basic coffee season, two sides of this display can go out to kitchen sets or an assortment of kitchenware items. Over on this particular side, we have our basic Save and mugs set up on a three-sided rack, an additional display above. One thing in the manual you'll notice as you're getting your kitchen corner manuals is to be very careful with how high you put the merchandise. Some of this merchandise, because I'm a little taller than most, but some of this merchandise is sitting quite high in the air, and some of our customers won't be able to reach it, so you need to make sure that you put identical displays on a lower level for our customers to be able to reach safely. Now we'll continue on down to our copper section. This is one of the items that we have on our end. This is a copperware that's facing our midway. Copper gets to be a big part of our kitchen corner. We have our copper canister sets and bread boxes on this particular end. On one of the sides of the atriums that you saw earlier, we have our copper molds. We have 4 or 5 different varieties of copper molds. We have the top quality stainless steel lined copper molds. On down this side, you'll see that we have our cutlery sets. We have our Wilkinson sword carving knives. These sell for $15.97. We've got some real sharp, high-priced merchandise. One particular set here, Town and Country, is a $29.97 set. You go on down your kitchen corner side here, this is all our cutlery. Then we get into our Wilton baking ware and our wooden bowl sets. On the facing counter, facing this side, we have our wooden ware. These particular items we did outstanding with. Most of them will be maxes in your store. Sufficient quantities for turnover cannot be kept on the counter. Some of these items are 5 and 6 max items in our stock rooms. Done outstanding with them in our Christmas season. These items, you can feature one particular item on a full end counter anywhere on the midway during Christmas and sell 3 or 4 dozen very easily. The spice racks come with spice. A lot of these you've seen before on GOs or checkoff sheets. Quite handsome displays for the merchandise. This stuff is $25 to $35. Some of our wooden towel holders. These are some brand new items into our stores. Wine racks and so forth, and everything on this counter is all related to wood or the wooden accessories that the shopper would need for their kitchen. Now we'll continue to another part of the kitchen corner. Now you've seen our kitchen corner here in Manassas. It was a quick run through, so we just wanted to basically touch some of the highlights and not take up too much time in your meeting.
302.33 please, 302.33.
You'll also be receiving in your store prior to getting your kitchen corner a kitchen corner manual. The kitchen corner manual will cover the entire kitchen corner as far as the theme of the kitchen corner and how to set up your displays. And our particular kitchen corner was installed in August of last year, and it generated about $50,000 increase in total sales for the entire department. Each one of these departments is kept separate, so it's difficult to calculate on an individual basis what each one of the departments contributed to the kitchen corner. For example, in a small appliance department, part of the small appliance department is in the kitchen corner, and part of the small appliance department is left back in its original position. Same way with Department 12. But each going together to contribute their own part to our kitchen corner. Total kitchen corner volume is estimated at close to $500,000. Now we'll go over to our electronics center, which is another new item that we have here at Manassas Kmart. I'd like to also welcome you back to Manassas Kmart 4212. I'd like to introduce to you our electronics center. This is a brand new one. We got the first one in the eastern region. We're quite proud of it. In our electronics center, the thing that stands out most prominent is our 5 displayers to our computers. They've gotten rid of our Atari and Intellivision displayers. So now we've got these new plexiglass displayers with the computers hooked up with the televisions here in the department. Up above, you'll see that we've got shams of each one of our cartridges. We also have a sham of our computer units. On this particular end, facing our midway, is our Commodore VIC-20 and our Commodore 64. Featured in the cases below it are the tapes with the dyno labeled in the front so the customer can get the price. Also, we have our entire assortment out here in our cases. Now we'll continue around to the back side of our electronics center in just a moment. On the particular side, we feature our Texas Instrument and our Atari side. This is the side that faces our midway. Up above, you see also that we have our tape cartridges, our displays to our computers. The entire line of Atari and the entire line of TI is on the display above. Down below, we keep our hardware. We have our TI computer hooked up with our displayer, our TI software. Going on down, we have Atari, and then we have the Atari 400 on this end. Now we'll continue around to the back side where we have a special treat. This will be a special treat for all you assistants that have the jewelry department. In this particular 2 cases here, we've moved all the calculators to our electronics center. Calculators being basically electronic in nature. The customer that's shopping for the calculator is also the shopper that's shopping for the computer. I'm standing inside the electronics center itself. This is a bullpen effect. Inside we have featured displays out to computers, pocket radios, the registers in the center with the telephone, and this is the inside that you see. If you look up above, you've got these paper displays that hang on to the back of our signs, telling you exactly what is in the case below it, and also giving the customer something to look at as far as promotional displays on the back side. Now we'll continue into the inside cases of our electronics center. This is the back side of the electronics center. We've got the 2600 cassettes in this particular case, followed by the 5200 Atari cassettes in this case, with Intellivision on down the far end. Inside this, at Christmas time, is going to be outstanding for the simple reason that there's plenty of walk space between the counter and the case. So you can get several people behind this department for customer service at the Christmas season. Our particular department did over 400,000 just in the last 6 months of the year. On the facing counter facing the electronics center, we have our radios, headsets, and electronic clocks. This is the facing counter that faces the Texas Instrument side of our electronics center. In this particular counter we have our telephones, telephone accessories, tapes, our speaker accessories, antennas, and everything that you need for your VCR units. This is our accessory counter, basically our bread and butter counter. It also faces our electronics center. Now I'd like to also conclude in saying that our electronics center has been streamlined with the kitchen corner because most of our Department 6 merchandise has been moved to our kitchen corner. I'd like to take time at this time to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity to show you what we have here at Manassas. And not to be outdone by Mr. Urso, for $29.95 you can get a copy of our tape direct from Manassas 4212. Thank you.